with Savannah Police Department Central Precinct. We're over at 1710 MLK. I have some little flyers out here that if you need one, you can take one. Mainly it's information, our contact information for the precinct, just some other numbers for the non-emergency number, the captain's email if you need to email our captain, which he will eventually make it to a meeting. Maybe we can set that up for a future meeting. And my contact information email. Email is a good way to get in touch with me. I will respond as soon as I'm back at work. If you email me on the weekend. I normally don't work weekends, Saturdays, Sundays. I occasionally do when we have events, but normally those are my regular days off. So I just wanted to get that out there. But you can, if you have any concerns. Now, if you need police to respond, please call either 911 or the non-emergency, okay? Or if you need a report. If you have any concerns that you'd like for me to look into or anything like that, that's when you would give me a call, okay, about anything going on in the neighborhood. I also put on here, normally what I do at the meetings is I go over the part ones, and just so you know, Thomas Square and Metropolitan, normally compared to some of the other neighborhoods in Central, do have the higher rate of part ones. Normally those, it's because people are moving through the area, we do have a little bit more of a higher population of the homeless people. I'm not saying they're the ones doing
higher rate of what?
Part ones.
What's that?
There's 23. Part ones are shootings, cuttings, larcenies, entering autos, which fall under larcenies, those type of things. I'm sorry, I didn't explain that. There were 23 for the past 30 days, and those ranged from larcenies, 1 entering auto, 7 auto thefts. Those include 1 vehicle, but the rest were mopeds, and I think a couple of motorcycles. So those kind of go along with the bicycles, and which we did have a stolen bicycle that falls under the larcenies. The only thing that I can tell you as far as that goes is out of sight, out of mind. Bicycles, mopeds, we've seen that even though you take the keys for your mopeds, if you know anybody that has a moped or motorcycle, for some reason they're still able to take them. They either damage the vehicle taking, they take them. They're not, or they're wheeling them away. So what I tell people is out of sight, out of mind. If you're able to put it someplace where the people can't see it from the street, in the backyard somewhere, inside of a shed, especially bicycles, inside foyers or inside your house where people can't see them, because they're even occasionally cut off of, they're hooked up and they're locked up like you're supposed to do, but they're being cut off the chain or whatever they've locked the bike up with. So just some pointers on how to maybe keep you from becoming a victim of stolen bicycle or moped if you have a moped. And there were 4 robberies. One of those is iffy because it involved 2 people that knew each other, and so I'm not really sure as you read it. It involved 2 homeless people, and they spoke to both of the individuals, and they didn't make an arrest. So I think the officers were like, not really a robbery, but it's still showing up as a robbery. The other ones, there's no, it was people walking down the street, and they were a victim of somebody walking up behind them. So when you are out walking around, especially at night or anytime, occasionally if you see people walking around looking at their phones, that's not something you should be doing. If you're out walking, you shouldn't be looking at your phone or on social media as you're walking around. Okay, you need to be looking, if you're out, enjoy being out, and be aware of your surroundings. They're not going to, in most cases, I can't guarantee it, but most cases they're not going to target somebody who's aware of their surroundings, paying attention to who's around them, okay, paying attention to who's behind them, just being aware of your surroundings. But those were a couple of the, those were some of the robberies in the Thomas Square area. Entering auto, the vehicle, the person said they locked the vehicle, so the best thing is just to make sure you take all your belongings out of the vehicle. If it's anything that someone may want, and it doesn't matter what it is, if it looks like it's something they may want, they may break your window, which normally doesn't happen, but if they see something they want, they may break the window. Mostly they're just going after unlocked vehicles because they want something quick, so make sure you lock your vehicles. There was a DVA, which is a domestic ag assault. We can't really prepare you for that because that's kind of a crime of passion. people that you've known for years that never had issues could suddenly now have a domestic dispute. So those are things you can do. I definitely be careful if you see something that you believe is a domestic dispute. Definitely call the police because those can be dangerous. And then there were 2 ag assaults. They were involved. Someone drove by, and this was in the metropolitan area. Someone drove by and shot at somebody, but nobody was hit. And in the other ag assault, somebody pointed a gun at somebody and threatened them. So, but in those instances, nobody was hurt or shot, but it still falls under the ag assault. And yeah, larcenies. Just when it comes to your, one of them was a male. So just kind of, I guess, track your packages. I know that happens a lot, and it hasn't this time, but in the past it has happened a lot with mail thefts. So just track your packages so that you know when they're being delivered. And if you can get a neighbor to pick up the package for you. If you do have a package stolen and you know that it was stolen, you still should report it even if you're going to go through the company to get it replaced, because then that tells us what's going on. That's something that we're looking to do in the future, where we maybe try to do a operation with mail thefts. So still report it so that we kind of know what's going on. And if you have video footage on a Ring doorbell camera, that would be very helpful, because then we can pinpoint who's taking those packages. And especially with the entering autos, even if nothing is taken, please still report those to us, because that lets us know what's going on in the area and where we need to be focusing our patrol. Okay, and that's about it. Does
And
anybody
what's
have
the best way for people to get in touch with you if they need to?
with me? It's my office number, my direct office number is there, and you can leave a message. My cell, email is a good way. With my cell, just so you know, I do have a work cell. On the weekends, I will get back to you, because I don't carry my work cell with me when I'm off. I'm not required to, not on call, so I don't do that. So the best thing to do is just, if I don't answer the phone on the weekend, or just wait until the week, and I'll get back with you. Or you can email me and just say whenever, that you would like for me to call you as soon as I get a chance, and I can do that. Email is a great way, and then it has that you have that chain, I guess you could say, of information. So email is a great way to get in touch with me. And if I need more information, or because I do like to talk to people instead of just doing email, I will. So if you leave your name and your number in the email as well, then I can also call you if I need to. It would be easier to talk to you about the situation. Okay.
What is that number?
Oh, it's I left them right here. There's a whole bunch of, and they're all on here. Captain, where we're at, and all of that too. So, yes.
Is it under your purview, traffic accidents and the fact that we have no white lines on the streets and no crosswalks, and the cars zipping by and not a lot of push buttons so you can stop the traffic?
That falls under traffic engineers. They're the ones that determine where lines need to be drawn and all of that. So they're probably not here, the community liaison. They're actually a good source to go through your community.
Right, and I actually have an update on that later with Vision Zero. So,
Perfect.
Oh,
Yep.
fantastic.
yep. No, it was about traffic stuff, which we'll talk. She was saying is traffic engineering, and we're going to talk a little bit more later about Vision Zero. So we'll move off that.
They deal with signage for traffic and lines on the roadway and traffic calming and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. Traffic engineers deal with that.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.